Okay, 1735, good luck. So we've not played before, we have no head-to-head score. 4,300 games for my opponent, really good. I've done about 6,000 in blitz. There's also 1,300 in rapid, very good. Now, that's the book move. Sometimes I go with a queen just to break the normal standard theory. But I'll just play it normally this game, but we're just still trying to get our pieces out and castle, then worry about what to do. That's the general plan in most games. Now, queen up might be a move. So queen up here, obviously you might want to play a move like knight down, which is a bit irritating. Yeah, I don't want to even allow that move. I mean, he can also potentially go this way, but we don't want to allow the knight to jump in here early on. So we have bishop up to one or the other. We've got queen up. He's played knight forward. How do I want to do this? I quite like the look of queen up. Knight out wide. We can check. If you block, we can go forward. Knight in's maybe still a move though. Actually, queen up now. He might have to take and bring a pawn over for us because we hit 2 pawns. Yeah, I'm going to do that. He might need to take here. We can bring a pawn in towards the center. Otherwise, we hit 2 pawns. So I'm going to take with the pawn if he does take, and it'll give us an extra pawn in the center of the board. So can we just grab a pawn here? Here, if you take, I take the queen with a check and then I take back. So I think I can just grab the pawn. But if it's a blunder, it's a blunder. That's just chess. We're only playing blitz after all. So I pre-moved, as you can see, the different colour on the squares there with a highlight, just in case he takes back. So we hit another pawn, but we might just simply drop back to where we were. Let's just see. He's played bishop up. So I think just dropping back where we were seems sensible. Pawn up is probably sensible because of rook across as well. It's whether I want to try and get my bishop up. So bishop up, takes, also seems actually quite good. And we're getting our bishop outside the pawn chain. Yeah, I like the look of that. Again, it might be a mistake. We'll just find out. But it's a development move, and then we can push the pawn with the bishop outside the chain. Okay. I'm just going to take there and then pawn up and just try and solidify. We still need to castle, of course. If white gets really active really quickly and we haven't castled, we could get into trouble very quickly. Not sure what we're doing with our knight now, but I think going here should be a priority just in case there's some sort of tricks here. So I'm going here, I'm going to castle. So he's gone back there. So I think I've got knight back here to hit the bishop. We might have knight forward as well. And then we can force something off the board, and that seems all right. But here, if you come up, pawn up, it doesn't quite work, does it? Let's go here. I assume he'll just come up and we'll trade, but if he takes with the rook, he allows pawn up. So he might have to take with the pawn. So he's gone up, so he needs to take his time and go with a pawn here. That's what he's done. So let's get castled, and now we can try and get a bit more active. Try not to burn all our clock. So he goes across. So I want to activate my rook. I'm not sure if I want to move this one or keep it guarding the pawn. Maybe rook up and knight back, or bishop up. So bishop up, down, takes, feels like it would be very good for us as well. And I'm not really concerned about a sack here. There's no queen on the board, so I don't think that works. It might do, but I don't feel like it does. So I'm very happy to trade my bishop for this knight, especially if you push the pawn. Okay, he has done, so this should be good for us. It might even win a pawn here. I think we just take and drop knight back and attack the pawn. That might win a pawn for us. It was, to be fair, it's like double pawn, so it's maybe not as drastic. But a pawn's still a pawn. So we could be 2 pawns up, which is good as a principle, of course. We see here my opponent, 1900 in rapid chess, strong player, 1300 games. So at my level, these games can always go wrong. There's always a scope for them to go horribly wrong. But we're just going to try and collect this pawn. Maybe you're going to have to blast. Right now, maybe I can just ignore it and push up, but down, take, that's what he's found. So takes, I can't really take, well, maybe I could. Gain a pawn, lose a pawn, gain a pawn. Yeah, it doesn't actually work for me, does it? I think I need to go here, and you can't attack it in one move, and I'll try and collect and maybe come back. But if I end up swapping a pawn for pawn, it's still fine. We're still going to be a pawn up. We just have to get our rooks into the game adequately. You know, but still think of king safety, and I need to push a pawn to avoid the back rank mate. So now I think it's okay to take. So I'm going to take, try not to burn the clock. Okay, so is pawn up a move here? Knight can't take right now. The rook will have to move. Then we may be getting forward. Actually, I like... is it a bit slow playing rook across? I'm debating. I can just push up immediately. Rook across, rook down. Say you guard. I can activate me with the rook. I'll just trade. I'm just going to play a slow move for now, though. Just take it steady. But I might be better actually pushing it on here. I might be before he gets too much pressure on it. So, but let's just play the holding move, though, just so the king's got a square, just in case. We can always drop our knight back and guard, and then maybe e5. Our trading should be very good for us. So, rook material, so now I can push and solidify here. So we've got 7 pawns against 5 pawns, and we can just build a nice connect 4. Try and keep control of this c file. Try and bring the king towards the center. Yeah, I like the idea of bringing the king up now. And the rook's got flexibility. Okay, so I'm just debating where I want to put my rooks. So here he'll launch forward. Rook across. I'm actually going to go... Well, if I go here, I guess he just does this. What to do. Yeah, I'm just going to go here. I'm just going to double the rooks up initially. I mean, I can't really stop the pawn push, so I won't worry about it. He's gone across. Okay, maybe I should have worried about it then. I'll go here to guard for now. I missed that move, the rook across. I mean, I guess I can go up and counter-attack here, though. So I'm going to go here and hit his pawn. So does he go to the trouble of defending is a question. Then we can think about doubling up. Yeah, I'm just going to double the rooks. Maybe rook across, depending on what he does. Maybe rook down. Yeah, pawn down, I think just rook down. We hit the rook and we hit the pawn. I mean, he can guard, but it seems good for us. So he's gone there. I'm actually debating whether to just push a pawn here. So here, up, takes. I like the idea of just simply pushing here. Use our extra pawns and just try and clear the center a bit. So I'm just going to push here. I'm aware of the clock, so I'm keeping an eye on the clock. So we're threatening to push. We can just run the king around for safety as well. Just click anywhere on the board to clear your markings. Just be careful not to trigger an accidental pre-move. So I think I just drop back here. If king forward, maybe rook across is good. So he's played right across. So now I think king up. It gives me the scope to rook here if he comes down, and I can check as well. He's gone all the way back. I want to check and drive that king back, and then maybe just rook back just so I can block. Again, I'm aware of the clock. He's nearly out of time. But it's been a good game, though. He's played pretty well, hasn't he? He's done pretty well here. But let's just drop the rook back just so we can block any checks from behind. And then the time is up. That's the balance of chess, risk and reward, quality versus speed of play. Right, apologies there. I was just interrupted by a phone call just as I was wrapping the game up. So we've put the game through the analyzer with the engine. So they're the move times that both players have used there. So we've managed to play it pretty well. 96% versus 91% accuracy. The CPL is 21 versus 33. So we'll just take a quick flick through. There's an early blunder there from our opponent, the only one that the engine has flagged through the game. So rook to b1 allows us to take the pawn. And we played it pretty well. So I'm just having a quick flick through. It was okay to trade. It's not flagging up any obvious mistakes. Right near the end there's one here. It's just simple common sense moves. We've gained the extra pawn there. We've traded and cemented our pawn. Then we've tried to figure out a plan to eventually break through. And then in this position, what have we done? Actually, just dropping the rook back, oddly enough. The engine is saying we should have just gone forward instead of dropping back. I was just trying to guard against the checks. Then, of course, our opponent's just about out of time here. So we got ourselves a good win with that one.